is Joan Lau, and Joan has been like the executive director of the kitchen. She's done all the planning and all the work, and Lonnie is like the director of the kitchen who has actually done the cooking, and Sandra over here has been responsible for the wonderful missionary servers, and Joan also is president of the Lafayette Urban Ministry Board this year. So she has a lot going on, and we would like to give just a small token of our appreciation to you. The meal was wonderful. Joan, there you go, executive director of the meal. Lonnie, director of the kitchen. And Sandra, Executive Vice President for Serving. There you go. Look at that. They are so good. The dessert is perfectly timed while that is happening. Would also invite Pablo Malavenda to come up. Where is Mr. Malavenda? Come on, Pablo. Here he comes. Here he comes. Pablo, come on up on stage, man. Pablo works for months getting this event organized, making sure that all the many details are taken care of. He runs around like crazy on the night of, and I just want us all to tell Pablo how very much we appreciate him. Thank you very much, Pablo. Now, the time is really drawing close to when we will stop taking bids. Here's what's going to happen. In just a few minutes, we are going to cue a little Lafayette Urban Ministry video that's really very short, about 4 minutes. When the video is finished, I am going to come up and officially close the auction. So right now is probably one of the last chances you'll have tonight to go check your bids. You may pay with credit card, you may pay with debit card, you may pay with cash and check, and this is how it will happen. During this evening's show, if you are the high bidder on a basket, somebody will come to you in the dark and tap on your shoulder and give you a little piece of paper and say, Father Patrick, happy day, you have won the Death by Cheese basket. Okay? And then when that happens, on the way out tonight, you will pay for it and take it home and have a great night eating cheese. So, with that all said, Wes, can we dim the lights and cue the video? I love when that works.
Did you know more than 16% of the children in Tippecanoe County live in poverty? Households, mothers and fathers struggling to provide for their families. Where do they go for help? Lafayette Urban Ministry. Through its innovative and effective programs, LUM has been giving help and giving hope to families in need for over 46 years.
The Lafayette Urban Ministry is an organization of 47 local church congregations. We serve as a social safety net for children and families in our community that are facing difficult times. Back in 1972, a group of 7 local downtown churches came together to form the Lafayette Urban Ministry, and through the years we've grown to the point where currently some 3,000 volunteers work together with those 47 churches to have a true and meaningful impact on improving the lives of those in our community that are having difficulties.
Poverty robs children of many of the opportunities that they need to succeed. LUM returns those opportunities by helping them to develop the tools that they need to fill their full potential. That's why my wife Judy and I continue to invest in LUM financially, as well as regularly volunteering with programs such as the LUM After School Program, LUM Camp, and other youth-centered programs.
Many families in our community are functioning well, but it only takes one little crisis, a health problem, a car accident, a job loss to push them over the edge into financial insecurity. So they come to LUM, to the Good Samaritan program, hoping that we'll be able to help them. And we do as much as we can, giving them the small amounts of money, a lot of encouragement, and often referrals to places that can help them a lot. And hopefully they get their lives back together, and they will not need our help any longer. And I've seen that happen in many cases.
I was drawn to LUM because of their work with the Immigration Clinic and social justice. Some of the paperwork, it can be frustrating and overwhelming, and LUM really gives hope and that help for those that need it.
Lafayette Urban Ministry is a wonderful asset to this community. It provides a place for those who have no other place to go. I am so proud to have Lafayette Urban Ministry and its shelter to support those people 365 days a year, and that they give people a starting point. They give them a place where they can get their feet back under them, that they can look for a job, that they can look for housing. We give them hope. We give them a helping hand, just so they can be independent again.
LUM has been a big part of my life because when we don't have enough financial assistance for food, they're there with little snacks and odds and ends. Child care, because they help with homework and after school care and kind of tire them out for me for the day. They also help with financial assistance when I struggle paying bills. You can go there like once or twice a month and get help with your financial assistance, and it just helps out a whole lot.
LUM camp was fun because I got to go swimming and I got to try new things like the sky swing, and I got to meet new friends, and the counselors were there to protect me.
I've been active with LUM for many years. For me, LUM is worth it because the focus has always been on strengthening the family by giving help and giving hope. For families that we help get a $5,000 tax refund, this is life-changing amount of money that goes to paying the rent or feeding the family or into savings. The American dream of owning a home or going to college may now be realistic.
Holy Scripture is very clear. Jesus himself tells us we are to give shelter to the homeless, feed the hungry, to love our neighbor, to welcome the stranger, to treat others as we would be treated ourselves. Lafayette Urban Ministry takes that vocation, that call very seriously, and we are as well. We are to hear those words of Jesus Christ and understand what our responsibility is to our community and respond in kind.
The LUM story is a compelling one. The first place people turn, it's often the last resort for help.
We can break this cycle of poverty. Your gift is critical to building a strong social safety net in our community.
Our thanks to all of you for helping Lafayette Urban Ministry do what's good and do what's right for our needy families and children.
Now won't you make an investment in the families and children of our community by giving to LUM? Just go to the LUM website and don't forget to find us on Facebook and Twitter. Lafayette Urban Ministry, giving help and giving hope.
Thank you so much to our video stars, Martin and Patty Jiski, and Father Patrick, and Arwen and Judy Provencha. And as I'm mentioning Arwen's name, I almost forgot that Arwen and his compadre right next to him, Paul Dixon, were among 18 people from the LDS Church that prepared the potato salad that we all enjoyed tonight. So Arwen and Paul and others, thank you for the great job on the potato salad. Come on, stand up. Let's hear it. Yeah, come on. And you thought he was just an entomologist. Okay, so let's have a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The bidding is now officially closed. And the time of the evening has come to let the show begin.
And I tell you what, I'm the in-between guy. I'm right in between the acts. And Eileen told me this is going to be quite the gig. And I'm looking out with the lights and I'm thinking, well, there are a few people here. Anyway, she told me I should dress accordingly. And I wore a suit, but I had to buy it first. So at any rate, I went to get this suit. And well, what is the name of the suit place, ma'am? You can go to get clothes, nice clothes. Menards? No, it's not Menards. Not Menards. No. Anyway, so I was going to go get this suit, and the guy put it on me, and I thought, well, this looks great. So I got home. My wife says, where did you buy that thing? Man, it's horrible. It's all jacked around and everything. And I said, well, you know what? I got it down at Menards. Anyway, and so I went back to the tailor, and I said, hey, this suit is a mess. And he said, well, here's what you got to do. He said, you got to pull this up like that. And he said, then it looks a little better now, doesn't it? And I said, okay. He said, then you got to go like this, and it'll look even better. And he said, now, when you get down, do the other side like that. And he said, look in the mirror. It looks real good, don't it? And I said, well, yeah, it does. So I walked out the door, and I'm going down the street, and I hear this guy say, oh, man, what's the matter with that poor man? And the other guy says, I don't know, but his suit fits good.
Good evening. I didn't notice until it was too late to correct it, but the advanced publicity erroneously listed my offering this evening as comedy rather than properly as spiritual edification. I'll be reading a fragment of lost scripture from Genesis. It's not one of the Dead Sea Scrolls. In fact, nobody seems to know exactly who discovered it where, which is a large part of the reason, I'm sure, that scholars have unanimously condemned it as inauthentic. But that judgment will be reversed in time, I'm confident, because it just provides such clear answers to some key questions from the beginning, such as where did Cain get his wife? And one other question in particular that has vexed thoughtful people since time immemorial, which is why I wanted to share its illumination with you this evening. It fits between Genesis 2 and 3, so I call it Genesis 2.5. Way back yonder, in the beginning of the world, there weren't but two people, old Adam and Miss Eve. They was living on 40 acres of good bottom land the Lord had given them, and they didn't have no boll weevil and no high water, and they made a good crop every year. They had 2 good cows, a heap of shoats, and they ate all their own frying chicken because there weren't no preachers yet to eat any of them. They had a fine garden full of mustard greens and roasting ears and a house that didn't leak. Old Adam had the best mules in the county, a brand new Studebaker wagon, and a whole pack of fine rabbit hounds. And Miss Eve, she helped old Adam make the crop and done the cooking and the washing and the ironing, and they got along mighty good. There wasn't but one thing twixt them. Old Adam, he liked to hunt and fish, and every time he could sneak away, he was off chasing after rabbits or looking after trot lines. And Miss Eve, when Adam was away, she got kind of lonesome, there being no other folks for her to talk to. And one morning she said, Adam, if you don't get some folks for me to talk to while you're away, I ain't going to let you hunt and fish no more. Well, that vexed old Adam fierce, because he loved to hunt and fish most more than anything in the world. And he went off down the big road and was wondering and studying what he might could do about it, when here come the Lord. And the Lord, he gave Adam howdy, and Adam, he gave the Lord howdy. And then Adam said, Lord, you've been wonderful good to us. You gave us 40 acres of fine bottom land that makes a full crop every year. And you gave me and Miss Eve to each other, and life surely is sweet. But Lord, now Miss Eve has said, if I don't get her some folks to talk with while I'm away, she ain't going to let me hunt and fish no more. So Lord, could you please, sir, see fit to make some folks to keep that good woman company? The Lord said, reckon so. When would you want these folks made, Adam? Old Adam said, please, sir, Mr. Lord, could you make them today? Well, the Lord said, reckon I could do that. In fact, let you and me go on down here to that creek with the real good clay bank, and I'll make those folks right now. So they went on down over to the creek bank with the real good clay, and Adam helped the Lord to get a good heaping pile of clay, and the Lord made some more people. Then he put them up against a fence rail, and he said, now Adam, you meet me back here just before sundown when they've all dried out, and I'll put brains in these people, and then Miss Eve will have somebody to talk to when you're away. Well, Adam went off whistling happy, and he whistled happy all day long. And toward evening, plenty before sundown, he headed back toward the creek bank, still whistling happy. But when he got to the fence rail, he stopped whistling. For lo and behold, there weren't any people there. Nary a one. No, sir. All those folks the Lord had made had dried out and had done walked off before the Lord came back to put brains in them. And they've been multiplying and replenishing the earth ever since. Can I get an amen?
In between guy again. You know, I had my grandmother had a twin sister, and when they got to be about 85, never married, they decided they want to get a driver's license. So they got the old pickup out of the garage, and they drove the thing around in the field. And they didn't do too bad, actually. So then they had to go to the license branch and go through that. Well, the license instructor gets Bertha in there, and she drives around town, and he's actually pretty excited. She's doing well, using her turn light, you know, looking around but paying attention, 10 and 2 on the old hands. And so there's a red light, and she goes right through it. And he's just aghast. He didn't know what to do. He's lucky they didn't get hit. And he says, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Oh, that's all right." She says, "My sister and I learned to drive together out in the field with my pickup." He says, "Oh my gosh, we could have been killed." So they kept on going, kept on going. Pretty soon they pull up, and here's a green light. And she screeches to a stop and says, "Oh my." And the instructor says, "What in the world are you doing now?" She says, "My sister could be coming from the other way."
gonna love him. Tell him, tell him, tell him, tell him right now. Ever since the world began, it's been that way for men and women were created to make love. So why should true love be so complicated? Oh yeah, I know something about love. You gotta take it and show him what the world's made of. One kiss will prove it. If you want him to be always by your side, take his hand tonight and swallow your full of pride. Tell him that you're never gonna leave him. Tell him that you're always gonna love him. Tell him, tell him, tell him, tell him right now. Tell him that you're never gonna leave him. Tell him right now. Tell him, tell him, tell him, tell him right now. Tell him, tell him, tell him right now.
Excellent, excellent. Many of you probably have been a Sunday school teacher, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, man. And it yields a reward, but it also, you can see kids at their best. So the Sunday school teacher was teaching about a variety of things this Sunday, and she says, today we're going to learn about the resurrection. Does anybody know what the resurrection is? Susie? How about you, Johnny? Billy? Little kid in the back, he holds up his hand. Little Albert, he holds up his hand. She says, okay, what do you think the resurrection is? He said, I'm not quite sure, but if you have one for more than 4 hours, you better consult your physician. for pillows. My wife and I do that at home all the time. Hey, you know, I like dogs, and I had a little pug dog, and he died. So I was out to look around, see about getting a new dog, and walked down the street, and I see this dog sitting on a lawn chair, and he's got a sign around his neck. It says, "Talking dog, $20." I thought, yeah, right. So I go up and I look him in the eye, and I said, "Really? Can you talk?" He said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "I love to talk. When I went to the Mount Everest and climbed that," he said, "I was talking to people all the way up there." I said, "Are you kidding?" "Nope." I said, "Well, what else do you like to do? Go for walks?" And he said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "When I was up at Wrigley Field when the Cubs won the World Series, I got to walk the bases." "Oh, you're kidding." I said, "Man, that's really something." And I said, "$20, is that right?" He said, "Yeah." So I thought, well, he might make a good dog for me. So I go in, knock on the door. This guy comes out and he says, "What do you need?" I said, "I want to know about this dog." And I said, "What do you got him $20? I mean, that's too cheap. He talks." I was talking to him. He said, "Well, he talks." I said, "Why are you selling for $20? He said, "He's a terrible liar."
LUM
BADA Camp
Lambada. Yuck. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Lambada. Camp is very entertaining, and they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining.
I went hiking with Jill Spivey. She developed poison ivy.
You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night at dinner.
All the counselors hate the waiters, and that lake has alligators.
And the head coach wants no sissies, so he reached to us from something called Ulysses.
Now I don't want, this should scare ya, but my bunkmate has malaria.
You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party.
Take me home, oh mother, father, take me home. I hate Lambada. Don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home. I promise I will not make noise
Or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day.
Dearest father, darling mother, how's my precious little brother?
Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Yuck!
Wait a minute. It stopped hailing.
Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball.
Gee, that's better.
ladder.
Oh, I tell you what, many of you probably know my brother. He was a toothbrush salesman. Anybody? He'd try to sell you a toothbrush. A guy, short, about like that, real fat. Maybe not. Anyway, his boss told him, you're going to have to kick it up a notch. You're only selling like 3 toothbrushes every day. And he said, well, I'm looking for better commission. They said, you got to sell more toothbrushes. So he said, well, okay. And the boss said, today's the day. Either you sell 100 toothbrushes or you're fired. He said, all right, I can do that. So he goes out and works and works and works, comes back to the office, tells his boss, I sold 2,500 toothbrushes. What? He said, yep. He looked in his cash drawer and he goes, check that out. Yep, 2,500. He says, well, how'd you do that? He said, well, I went out in the pasture and I got a bunch of cow manure. And he said, I stirred it up in a big bowl and I got me a bag of chips and I set it behind him. This was all out at the airport. And he said, put a sign up there. It says, free chips and dip. People would walk by and they put the chip in there and eat it. They said, man, this tastes like crap. And he said, yeah, it does. You want to have a toothbrush?
Around my Indiana homestead wave the cornfields. In the distance loom the woodlands clear and cool. Oftentimes my thoughts revert to scenes of childhood, where I first received my lessons, nature's school. But one thing there is missing from the picture. Without her face, it seems so incomplete. Oh, I long to see my mother and the doorway as she stood there many years ago, her child to greet. Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash. From the fields there comes a breath of new mown hay. Through the sycamores the candlelights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash far away. In a little red barn on a farm down in Indiana, let me lay my back on a stalk of new mown hay. Round the barnyard where the farmyard folks are palling, let me dilly-dally. Oh yeah, all the live long day. All the live long day. I'm a Hoosier who's blue through and through, and my heart is pining for the sycamore trees where the Wabash breezes play. Yes, once more I'm pining for the yellow moon that's shining on a little red barn on a farm down Indiana way. Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still shining bright through the sycamores for me. That new mown hay sends all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, how I long for my Indiana. Your turn now. Hail, hail to old Purdue, oh hail to our old she never lacked.
Never lacked.
Ever grateful, ever true. Though we raise our songs anew.
Yeah.
Of the days we spend with you. All hail our own Purdue.
Go Boilers.
Go Boilers.
Boiler up. Hammer down.
Thank you.
Pretty famous pair there, huh? I don't think we can outdo that. If we got any cops in here? Good. No, the cops, you know, the whole speeding thing, I've been in trouble with that myself. But I got a friend that's a cop, and he told me the other day, he said, I saw this guy speeding, and I pulled out to catch him, and the faster I went, the faster the guy went. And he said, this went on for about, 10 miles. The guy just kept going faster, and he was in one of those new Cavaros or something, whatever it is. And so he just kept going faster and faster. Finally, the guy just gave up, and he pulls over. The cop gets out, walks up to him, knocks on the window, and he says, roll her down. He said, why in the world were you going so fast? The guy shrugged his shoulders. He said, well, the more I chased you, the faster you went. He shrugged his shoulders. He said, well, I don't know. He said, I'm going to probably have to give you a very high-priced ticket. The guy said, well, here's the deal. He said, my wife ran away with a state cop, and I thought you was trying to bring her back.
Well, I went down to the Grundy County auction where I saw something I just had to have. My mind told me I should proceed with caution, but my heart said go ahead and make a bid on that. And I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine on mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine, man. I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold on the lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know. She's got ruby red lips, blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm about to bid my heart goodbye. Well, the auctioneer was going about a mile a minute. He was taking bids and calling them out loud. And I guess I was really getting in it, 'cause I just shouted out above the crowd. And I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine on mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine, man. I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold on a lady in a long black dress, but she won my heart, it was no contest. With her ruby red lips, blonde hair, blue eyes. Well, I'm about to bid my heart goodbye. Yeah, we found love on the auction block, and I hauled her heart away. Now we still love to laugh about the way we met that day when I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine on mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine, man. I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold on the lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know. She's got ruby red lips, blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm about to bid my heart goodbye.
What do you get when you cross a clogger with the rumba dancer? That would be good to see. Hey, there's three vampires walk into a bar, and they go sit down, and the waitress comes over and she, what do you want? First vampire says, I'll have a glass of blood. Okay. Second vampire says, make that 2, I'll have one also. The third vampire says, well, I'll have a glass of plasma. So the waitress looks over the bartender and she says, that'll be 2 bloods and a Blood Light.
trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand, will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never, never enough for me, for me, for me.
I hardly can come out here after that. I mean, that was fabulous. Well, I'll tell you, I had an uncle, and he went to the doctor one day, and the doctor gave him some terrible news. He said, "You've got a rare terminal disease, and you will be dead by morning." And it shocked him. Of course it would. So he thought about stopping at the bar on the way home, and he said, "No, I got to go home and get my wife and tell her the bad news." So he heads home and he tells his wife, he said, "Honey, the doctor gave me some terrible, tragic news. He said, I've got a rare terminal disease and I will be dead by morning." And she says, "Oh my, I don't know what to do. I know, I'm going to give you anything you want." He said, "Okay." He said, "I'd like to watch a Cubs ball game and have you sitting with me." She said, "All right, I can do that." And he said, "I would like to spend the rest of the evening just looking out at the sunset." She said, "Well, I can do that." And he kind of drooped his head and he goes, "Well, I'd like to make love all night." She said, "I can do that." So everything went along pretty nice with the Cubs game and the sunset and all that stuff. And I got in bed, and you know what I mean. And so finally about 3:30, she taps him on the shoulder and she says, "Honey, I don't know." She said, "This maybe wasn't such a good idea. I got to get up in the morning and you don't."
follow that. Oh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so pleased to be here tonight. I'd like to present a song, an international love song. Perhaps you've heard it before. It's sung completely in Spanish. It's called Cuando Caliente el Sol. Cuando caliente el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí. Es tu palpitar, es tu cara, es tu pelo, son tus besos, me estremezco. Cuando caliente el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí. Es tu palpitar, tu recuerdo, mi locura, mi delirio, me estremezco. Cuando caliente el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí. Es tu palpitar, es tu cara, es tu pelo, son tus besos, me estremezco. Kann ich ein Erbe haben, bitte? Cuando caliente el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí. Take it, Dad. Little louder, please. Everybody. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. La 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 la. Yo tengo chocolate al lado de vivir. Arriba. ¿Qué voy a hacerme contigo? ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Yo tengo un problema muy grande. ¿Por qué? No comprendo por qué mi padre, Diego, no música, no cantar. Now, Aaron, why would you go and wreck and ruin a beautiful, beautiful love song like that? After all the weeks, months that we've taken to prepare for this night with this beautiful audience of generous donors to LUM and all of these incredible, talented musicians who are completely unpaid. Why? Why would you do that?
The stage manager told me to.
She told you to wreck and ruin the song?
Just out of the blue.
You're telling me that Eileen Weiss, who's been organizing the LUM Follies, behind the scenes, all the details, she loves music and beauty, and you. have the gall to go and wreck and ruin this song.
She did before.
I just don't believe it.
Before the show, she pulled me aside and she said, Aaron, I want you to wreck and ruin your song tonight. And she said, I know the relationship that you have with your father, and I know that he has embarrassed you on countless occasions. Like that one time in third grade when he made me dress up like Elvis and made me perform for my entire class. Anyway, so she told me this would be the perfect opportunity for you to embarrass him right back.
I just don't believe that she told you. I just don't believe it. Eileen, did you ask my son? Did you tell my son?
She told me
to wreck and ruin this song? Did you? Well, that's just dandy. Oh, well, you didn't have to.
She's the stage manager.
Do you always do everything the stage manager tells you to do? Oh, well, wonderful. If the stage manager told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it?
Not again. Cuando caliente el sol.
This show is full of great talent. It's too bad I'm not some of it. Remember my brother that was a toothbrush salesman? Before he was a toothbrush salesman, he was a minister. So one Sunday, he was at the pulpit, and he got finished with his sermon, and he rode his bike home. And he rode his bike everywhere, by the way. He rode to the grocery store, the library, everywhere, because he didn't have a car. He just liked it. He loved to ride his bicycle. So one day after another service, he goes outside, and his bicycle's gone. And he thought, what in the world? Somebody stole my bike. So he goes to one of the elders and he says, hey, I got a real problem. Somebody stole my bike. And the elder says, well, I can take you places if you need me to take you places. He said, no, that's not the point. Somebody stole my bike. I said, oh, man. Elder says, well, hey, I got an idea. He said, why don't you do the 10 Commandments in a series? And he says, when you get to the steal part, he said, I'll bet it'll just drive the thief nuts and he'll confess. Hey, that's not a bad idea. So the first service comes and he starts in on the 10 Commandments and he does real well. And forgive me, I'm not remembering them while I'm up here. You'll see what I mean when I get there. Anyway, so it got to be the second and third one. And finally he goes to the elder and he says, well, what's the deal? And the elder says, well, I thought somebody would come forward. He said, well, you know, when I got to thou shalt not commit adultery, I remember what I did with my bicycle.
was safe in your arms, and the stars fell away like diamonds. Then we were young, and our love was younger still. Was it just an illusion? I spent a me. Wait for me. Close your eyes, and you will see I'm coming home. Every sky in my heart will be blue on the day I come back to you. I'm coming home. Every sky in my heart will be blue on the day I come back to you.
Wowie. I wear long pants because my legs look something like that. You know, I told you about my brother that was a toothbrush salesman. He was a minister, and, well, he was still a minister when this happened, and they were taking the offering up, and the deacons went down each side, and they were passing the plate, and they brought it up to be blessed by him, and he looks down in there, and he sees a $100 bill sticking up like that, and he says, "Oh, my." He said, "God bless our congregation." He said, "Who put the $100 bill in our plate today?" And this blonde was over here on the second row, and she stands up and, "That was me, that was me." He goes, "Oh, my." He said, "I tell you what, I'm going to give you 3 hymns today that you can have." And she goes, "Okay, hymn, hymn, and hymn."
This is the moment, this is the day when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. It's here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of my dreaming, scheming, and screaming become one. This is the day. See it sparkle and shine when all I've lived for becomes becomes mine. Through all these years, I've faced the world alone, and now the time has come to prove to them I'll make it on my own. This is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. This is the moment, the greatest moment of them all. This is the moment, damn all the odds. This day or never, I'll live forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall, moment for moment, the sweetest moment, the greatest moment of them Thank you.
There is a lot of talent here tonight, and it's just been so enjoyable for me to stand back and watch them perform, and I know it has been for you. I told you about my brothers. Well, I got an uncle, and why are you surprised? And he was a criminal. I mean, I'm ashamed to say that, but he was a criminal, but he wasn't very smart. So him and another guy that was in this cell broke out, and so they were on the run. And they were not smart at all. They tried to hide under a moving car. That didn't work. And some other stuff. Well, anyway, they made their way south to the Ohio River. And so they carried a flashlight with them and traveled mostly at night. So they said, how are we going to get across here? If we can get across state lines, we might make it. So the other guy tells my uncle, he says, well, hey, I tell you what, I got a great idea. He says, I'm going to shine this beam of this flashlight right across the river, and you can walk on the top of it, and when you get to the other side, I'll throw you the flashlight, and you can do it back to me, and I'll walk across there. Now, I told you my uncle was not too smart, but he came through. He says, oh, no, no, that ain't going to do it. He says, I'll get halfway across, and you'll turn off the light. It's been great to visit with you folks and to have some fun tonight. Eileen has worked very hard to make this all work, and I know you guys support a great organization. My name is Scott Vollmer, and I do public speaking, and I call myself a unique public speaker and storyteller. So I'm from Francisville, and if you have an event or whatever that you would like a speaker at, dinner meeting, after dinner meeting, or a youth type of an outing, please let me know. You can connect with me through Eileen. And now is our final act.
Our last song, to close tonight's program, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Blue Moon Rising. We've got about half of our choir here tonight. It's a very inclusive community choir that welcomes all voices. There are no auditions. We believe that everyone could sing. And we come together not only to sing. What we were surprised at, certainly I was when I formed this group 4 years ago, was the incredible sense of community that developed around the group, within the group. When we come together, we sing, but we also are inspired by songs which heal us, which call us to our best selves, which call us to act for justice and to do what we can to heal the earth and give us hope for the better world that we dream of. Am I right? Yeah. We all think it's about the cheapest therapy we've ever had. Once a week on Wednesday night. We're going to sing a song called Keep On Moving Forward. And I think I'd like to offer this as a song of thanks to everyone in this room who I know is working in ways large and small to bring hope and healing and help to those that need it in your families, in our community, and around the world. So we are not just going to sing this for you. We'd really like you to sing with us. It's very simple. I will just sing a line, and you will repeat it, and they'll be singing with you, so it's very easy. And we'll just see how this goes. Here's the first line. We're gonna keep on moving forward. We're gonna keep on moving forward. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Think you got it? All right, I'll get my little cheat sheet out of my other pocket so I can give you the right words. And Michael? We're gonna keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna raise our voices proudly. Gonna raise our voices proudly. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on loving boldly. Gonna keep on loving boldly. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna work for change together. Gonna work for change together. Work for change together. Gonna work for change together. Work for change together. Work for change together. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna rest when we are weary. Gonna rest when we are weary. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna reach across our borders. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're gonna keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. 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 Never turning back. 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 Thank you. If you'd like to hear some more songs of peace and justice and some just songs of fun and merriment, we are doing our spring concert tomorrow night at the Unitarian Universalist Church at 7 o'clock. So we'd welcome you to come and join us to listen and sing with us again. Thanks a lot for having us a part of the program tonight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. May we have the performers come on back up on stage. Where are, I know you're back there. Come on up. The breadth and the depth of the talent in the faith community here in Greater Lafayette is something that really needs to be showcased, and we are so pleased that in a small way we are able to bring to you people who are able to express their faith through their music, through their voices, through their humor. All that you do enriches our lives, enriches our communities, and we thank you for the way that you are enriching this evening the Lafayette Urban Ministry and the Good Samaritan Fund. Let's have a big round of applause for our performers. And Eileen Weiss is the executive director of the performance wing of the Good Samaritan Fund Follies. Come on up, Eileen. Thank you very, very much. Another wonderful, wonderful job. For those of you who received a tap on the shoulder during the show, please make sure to pay for your basket on your way out, then take your basket home with you. If you do not want to pay tonight, it's okay. We know where you live, and we will find you. Thank you so very much for spending your evening with us. We are honored that you did so. On your way out, please make sure to look both ways on Salisbury Street as you're crossing traffic heading back to West Lafayette. God bless you all very much.